Hello, my name is Andrey Lobanov, and we continue our course Self-Help Against Viral Infections, Prevention and Recovery. We have learned breathing exercises, and today I would like to combine them in a series that can be a morning, daytime or evening practice. It is kind of collection that we use in our yoga lamp system, and it has many depth levels of work. Today we are going to learn the simplest level, the external form, when we use our respiratory tract to clean it out and release. That's why it is called a complex, a series of so-called Kriya, of cleansing breath exercises. Its purpose to clean our lungs from all the waste we have accumulated in them. We do it with the right and left nostrils, combined balancing state and central. We also add Bhastrika that we have already learned in our last online classes. Aside from cleaning the lungs, cleaning the bronchi, that series affects other structures connected with energy. Therefore, once master the first step, the first level. If someone wants to learn those practices deeper, we have the next level on our lessons you can find on YouTube. Let's try to master that. First, we sit in a comfortable position you choose. If you can't sit cross-legged, you can sit in another position, for example, on heels. Put your hands on your knees. It can be just straight back on a chair, but your back must be straight. That's important, because it's the main condition. If you are bent, the thorax excursion will be difficult. So it's very important to have the straight spine like that. We keep our back straight, and the thorax excursion will circulate. You can control your breathing muscles with a straight back and spine. Well, the first task we are mastering is the full yogic breath. We have already done that course for beginners about how to breathe and how to manage your breathing muscles correctly. You can put your hands like this or like that, just how you wish. If it is comfortable for you to support, you can put your hands in a closed position with your hands on your knees and do the breath. The full yogic breath. We begin with full exhale and then inhale. Inhale and exhale. The slower you breathe in and out, the better it is to make that gas exchange in the lungs tissue. And the blood is filled with oxygen and CO2, that is also important. If we do it slowly, that balance between oxygen and CO2, carbon dioxide, will be correct. And with slow inhale, that process strains that state. And you can develop such abilities like inhale and exhale within a minute or even longer. And it becomes possible for you to make your blood circulation better. Under the action of accumulated CO2, the vessels expand. The more CO2, the wider the vessels expand. Now we are getting to know that in coronavirus, arteries in the lower part of the lungs are blocked. This is a phenomenon called erroneous pneumonia, according to research on the internet. And scientists say that it is not pneumonia. This is when alveoli are clogged with exudates or effusion. It happens because the bronchioles and small vessels, capillaries, arterioles are blocked. There is a dysfunction that causes suffocation and so on. That's why these devices are ineffective. They are trying to force air where they need to expand the alveoli. And to open them, make it possible to exchange blood. So, the first thing is the full breath. How many times? Usually, in average 12 or 14 times, inhales and exhales. After that, the next task is to clean the right and the left channels. We usually pre-use if you don't do special cleanings. Of those respiratory tracts. There are special programs in yoga. I gave you a link to our green CD. It is conditionally green because it has a nice green cover. I mean, breathing practices that you can find for free on our YouTube channel. There are all the techniques to clear the nasal passages. But if you do it in the daytime, you need to clear the nasal passages. Take a tissue. This is how we blow out the slime from the nasal passages, and we can breathe freely. If your breathing is difficult because you have a broken nasal septum or have a lot of colds, and the mucous membrane is hyperemic, it became thick and full. We use a so-called cord or catheter, and thus we remove the nasal passage and stimulate the tissue. The tissue begins to tighten, and the nasal passages more passable. Or we can rinse that with water. The next task is to clean the right and the left channels. For this, we use this hand position. That's really comfortable. Later you will understand that we can turn it like a pinwheel. Close one nostril, then another nostril, and exhale. Here we use Apalabhati breathing, but with one nostril. We have already done that. I won't show it again. You can watch other videos about Apalabhati. This is when we use only the diaphragmatic breathing. We start with inhale, exhale, and breathe only with abdomen, with diaphragm. A short pause. Hold on exhale. Inhale. And exhale. close the other nostril with the other finger. There is a feature of the male and female version. There are different schools that interpret the work with the right and the left channels in their own way. They are associated with the cerebral hemispheres and with the right and the left energy channels. But there are some features of the male and female bodies. In our school, we do it kind of differently. For example, in female version, we do it with the left hand, in male version, with the right hand. If we do the male version, the first nostril we close is the right nostril with the right thumb. Women close the left nostril with the left thumb on the left hand and work with the right nostril. It was the female version. After that, we will close the opposite nostril with the fourth and the fifth fingers. The other is opened, and we exhale. Then we inhale and exhale. One inhale and exhale through the opened nostril. Now we close with the fourth and the fifth fingers the relevant nostril. In the male version, it is the right, the female version, the left, and we inhale. We create a line of breathing and attention along the spine. Remember to keep your back straight, don't bend. And then we do Kapalabhati breathing with that nostril. Pause. Hold it until you want to inhale. We do full inhale and exhale. When you do this practice, try to maintain a state of inner smile. Just remember that you don't do any hard work. That's a nice practice for your pleasure. So, make a nice and joyful background. When doing this practice, lightly control the corners of the lips, pull them apart and up. When we are smiling, on this smile background, positive emotional background, your work goes better. This practice will be more effective. The next breathing exercise is balancing of the left and the right channels. We do it like that. We use the same finger position, so-called mudra. We inhale Kapalabhati breathing, but through two nostrils. Breathing through two nostrils. In exhale, we first close one nostril, then the other nostril in turn, first with the thumb, and then with the fourth and the fifth fingers. Thus, we do a series of such breathing, Kapalabhati breathing, but in our techniques it is called Apalabhati. Okay, let's do this. Full inhale, full exhale. Diaphragmatic inhale and exhale with one nostril closed. Exhale, again open the nostril, inhale through both nostrils. Close with the fourth and the fifth the other nostril. Open both nostrils. Inhale, exhale. This breath balances the right and left channels. When you have exhaled for the last time, hold your breath until you feel like taking a breath. Then we inhale and exhale. Why do we need that pause? When we breathe that intensively, we remove CO2 from the body. Our body and our blood are oxygenated. That is not very good for the body because it is used to a certain ratio of gases. Due to an excess of oxygen, the vessel begins to constrict. That's why you can feel a bit dizzy, you are getting goosebumps. Breathe intensively. In order to stop this effect, we must pause. On a pause, when oxygen doesn't enter the body, CO2 accumulates, and the cells continue to work. CO2, or carbon dioxide, enters the bloodstream, and the vessels react to this concentration and dilate. It is a very simple way to get rid of the effects caused by intense breathing. We need it because you will train your ability to balance oxygen and carbon dioxide. After a while, providing regular practice, you will breathe long without any manifestations. Our vessels get used to such states, to such changes, because they tone them up and train them. This is a very good practice for the vessels, especially for the vessels of the brain and the whole body. Well, remember after that breathing series to make a pause. How many series can we do? If you have time, you should do 3 series of 3 sets. If you have been training for a long time and you have a long process, that is, you can breathe for 2-3 minutes or even longer, without any manifestations. You can do 1 series. You choose this by yourselves. What else is important to keep in mind about these exercises? In some books, there are recommendations to do them with counting. For example, how many times you did it, 10 or 11 inhales and exhales, then made a pause, and so on. You need to understand that we are all individual. After 10 times of inhales and exhales, someone can fall unconscious. Some need just 3 times to get it. But for others, 10 times won't be enough. So, we focus on well-being. We focus on the state that occurs in the process of breathing practice, breathing exercises, and feel it. When we get first signs of light discomfort or dizziness, you must stop. And that will be a break for you. If you get used to counting, you constantly load your mind with this process of attention to counting. It is important to detach the mind from this process, because it must absorb other processes taking place in the body. The skill of controlling its sensitivity, which is turned inward and observes what is happening in the body, is very important. If the mind is busy with counting, then this function doesn't appear, you don't develop this ability. So, that was the next exercise. Then there is an exercise that we called Kapalabhati. Use any hand position and inhale through 2 nostrils, and exhale through 1 nostril. Inhale, exhale. Diaphragmatic breathing, Kapalabhati. Pause. Full inhale. And exhale. The next breathing exercise, or pranayama, is Bhastrika, or Smith's bellows. It allows you to kindle a fire and burn everything negative that comes from outside. So, it is called Smith's bellows. I will remind you how we do it. Those who first joined us can watch it in the previous videos of our course. Here we use this position of hands. Our lungs are like Smith's bellows. Arms help create the expansion and contraction of the thorax. We do it with intense breathing. It is better to focus on the middle of the sternum because we warm up the lungs and burn all nasties we have accumulated there. We kindle that fire like that. Inhale, exhale. Pause. Inhale. And hold on the pause on inhale while you can, focusing on the thorax, on the middle of the chest. Feel the influx of heat and exhale. And the next fine exercise regulates and balances the right and the left nasal passages and relevant energy channels, and also stimulates and controls the work of hemispheres. We can use different things. We can use the same mudra or another mudra when you put your fingers on the right and the left eyebrows, on the beginning of the eyebrows. There are dimples where you can put your fingers. These are the nerves outlets, and they are located here. After that, men close the relative nostril, the right one, with the right hand, with the right thumb, and inhale through the left nostril. We use full breathing. Inhale. Then, with the fourth and the fifth fingers, we close the nostril while opening the other nostril with the right thumb, a male version, and exhale. Women do the opposite. Then we inhale through the opened nostril. Close it with the thumb, open the other nostril and exhale through it. This was one round. The next begins again with inhale. Inhale. Close the nostril and exhale through the other. Exhale, inhale. Close that nostril and exhale through the other. Do one more round. Inhale. Feel how airflow runs along the spine from the nostril you inhale through. My left nostril is opened now, so I inhale a flow of attention. Breathing goes down, inhale. It reaches the base of the spine and kind of bending. And when I exhale, it goes to the other side, to the other channel and goes along. Exhale, like exhale goes through a tube of connecting vessels. And we exhale. Then we inhale with the tube, inhale and inhale. And exhale through the other nostril, exhale and exhale. That was the breathing. In chemistry lessons, everyone probably saw the connecting vessels. Their movement, like letter U. First, inhale goes through one nostril. Then exhale, inhale, and exhale. That kind of breathing allows us to control the processes of our body with that series. The series ends with this exercise. How many times to do it? At least 3 times. But gradually you come to 10, 20 times. That breathing helps you balance and calm the nervous system, because you will involve sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, left and right hemispheres. Thus, the nervous system is restored, what is very important in the situation we are all in. Well, that series I have just showed you. And do it in a regular way. Better every day. That gives you good results. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.